If you want to learn how to automate your email support and task assignment by using AI and conditional logic, but still maintaining some human elements, check this out. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach Stevenson. I'm a business process and no-code consultant. If you need help streamlining or automating any of your business processes, you can visit our website, interdevsolutions.com, or you can click the link in the description below to book a free consult. As mentioned in this tutorial, I will show you how to automate your email support and task assignment. The tools I'm going to be using is smartsuite.com, and the other tool we're going to use is relay.app. It is an automation tool that can look at the emails that you receive, process them using AI, still using some human elements to be able to verify that the information that the AI is passing is correct. And then from there, you can assign the task to whatever employee you need to assign it to. There's a lot of different industries that could use and benefit from something like this. The focus I'm going to use here is a trade. Specifically, I'm going to look at something like a HVAC type of use case. Two things that you will need: SmartSuite account. You can also use Airtable, Google Sheets, whatever. I really like SmartSuite. If you do not have a SmartSuite account, there is a link in the description below to get started. And the other tool is relay.app. Again, a link in the description below. What we're going to start in is I will show you what the task management solution looks like within SmartSuite. This is very simple, but essentially what we have is our various statuses, priorities, a scheduled date, the contact name, phone number, address, email address, ticket description summary, or problem or issue description summary. So this is where some of the AI will play in to summarize the email that we receive. We can pass in the entire email so that we can have the full context of the problem. We can have a field here to assign it to an employee or multiple employees. And we can also have the link to the email. If there's any issues, we can click within our solution here to open up the email directly. So it's just really high level what the solution looks like on the SmartSuite side. We're going to spend most of our time within Relay. So again, link in the description below. Get started. What we can do here is create a new playbook. First thing it's always a good idea to do is label the playbook. I use Gmail, but when I do email received, so that's fine. I'm going to keep this toggled off, also trigger for incoming replies. I only want to run this process on new emails. Optional filters, 2, and I want to make sure that it only has my support at email address. So now I have the 2 address has one of support@interdevsolutions.com. If an email gets sent to that email address, then the processing will occur and trigger. From there, we will add a step. The first step is going to be using this AI option here, and we're going to extract some data. So we'll do extract. The source will be our original email, and I will do the body of the email. And then I have a prompt here that I've pre-written. So we'll add some custom instructions. I'll just say, I've provided you with an email received to our support email address. If one of the requested values is not provided or found, output the value as blank or null. And then we will go down to additional context. If we want, we can also pass in the subject. Maybe there's something useful there as well. And then the output we want to receive, I'm going to do them all as a text. Even though the one is a phone number, I have not quite figured out why it doesn't seem to output correctly or in the way or structure that I want it to yet. So I just use text for everything. So the first thing what we can do is address, and we can save that. And the next thing we could do is phone number, and I'll toggle off this require a value for the field. And the last thing I will input is the problem issue, and I will save it as well. And if the model returns an error, I want it to continue still. And then from there, we can add a flow control, and we're going to do a rule-based path. So the first path, what it's going to be is need more info, and the rules are going to be based off of the model response. So basically, if the address is empty, or if the phone number is empty, or if the problem or issue is empty, then I want it to take this path. And what this path is going to do basically is just send a reply back to the customer saying, thank you for your message. We require the following information. Please submit it to us. What that looks like is I can go down to Gmail, select this reply to all, and I will just pass in that original email. And then here, I'm just going to paste in my current response, and we will have to fix some of these variables. So the first thing I want to do is bring in the sender first name, and then it says, hi, whatever the sender first name is. John, thank you for your email. We require the following info. Once this has been received, we will be in touch. We require the problem or issue you're experiencing, phone number, and address or site location. Again, this is going to be different depending on your exact business and your needs, but I'm just going to pass in the details that the AI model extracted for us. For reference to the client, they can easily see that we currently have the address or whatever the problem is, or the phone number, and so on. But from this data tab, I'll go to the model response and pass in the address, pass in the phone number, and I will pass in the problem. If any of these issues, or if any of these details were found in the email, it will pass them to this email here. The next step from here, what we want to do is we will create in Smart Suite a new record. So we can do create, and then you'll want to select your solution and the table that the record should get passed to. In my case, it is going to be to the task management solution, and it's going to be passed to the task table. Now I'll show you what that looks like right now. And from the table, I want to pass in the tasks. I'll click save, and then the fields to populate. We'll just click into this, the status. So this is the need more info route. I will just select the status as need more info so that this request will still get logged into our system, but we know that we require more info before we schedule it and assign it to an employee. We can pass in contact name, as we will have that. So just go over to the plus icon, email, and we'll just pass in the name here. We can go the email link, so we can pass that in. The email received, we can just pass in the email body there, and we can pass in the email address, which came from this step here, and it's the sender email that we want to pass in. And I think that's it for this step and stage. So we can carry on to the next part here. The next part, we'll just click this plus icon, and we will do flow control, and we can go down to this wait for reply based off of the second email we sent. So you can see there's a little icon 2 in line with 2 here. We'll pass that. In this case, there's no deadline, but you can actually add a deadline. So for example, let's say you don't receive a response within a day or 2 days or a week or whatever you need it to be. You can set up the workflow to take that into account. So if you want to get notified, or you haven't received a response in over X amount of time, you can set that up. I'm just going to do no deadline for now to keep things simple. And now what I want to do is I want to use another AI model, and we'll do extract. So basically what's going to happen is the email will get sent out requesting more information. I'm going to sit here, wait for a reply. When that reply comes in, then it will reprocess the email and try to extract the additional information that the customer sent to us. From here, we can do the step 4 here, which is the email, and we'll look at the body. And again, if the model returns an error, we'll just continue it because we don't want it to fail out, and we can look after things manually if needed. We'll add custom instructions. I'll just paste in the same prompt as before, and the additional context, I'm going to leave blank in this case. There's going to be 3 different fields that we need. One is going to be the address. We'll do the problem or issue. And the last one is going to be the phone number. And then from here, now that we've received the information that we want, we can go back to a Smart Suite task. We're going to update a record, the one we previously created. So we can go into here, update, and then here we can change some information. Ticket description summary. We will just use this AI model, and we'll just summarize the email body that we received, summarize the problem or issue, and we'll just add a fallback, which is not applicable if something doesn't work here. So we can hit done. We'll add another one. We've already added the email and contact and some of that information. One other thing that we could bring in is the address. It wants it broken down, but what we can actually do is go into this model response, and we'll just pass the address into this line here, and I will show you how to update it and fix it within Smart Suite. So there's the address that's looked after, the phone number. It won't allow us to pass over a text field. That's something that we'll have to update manually. As I previously mentioned, I haven't quite figured out how to get the right structure for a phone number yet. So we'll leave that as is, and we will update the email received. So we'll go back to this email and just pass in the body there. And then the last thing in this step or within this path is I'm going to add a Slack notification. And again, you can do this with email or something like that if you do not use Slack. So I'll just do send DM via bot. I'm just going to add my email address, and I'm going to say details received for new ticket submitted, review, schedule, and assign. And then to make it easier to access the record that was created, I will go back to this tasks record, this record that we created within Smart Suite, and I'm going to pass in the URL so that in the email that I receive and notify myself about, or within the Slack message, the URL will be there. I can click it and I can just review and assign, schedule, task. So that's everything within the need more info path. Now we'll build the other path, which can be simply received all info. And then when no other path is matching, we'll go this route. So we'll just keep it really simple for now, that the need more info path, if there's data that's missing, we're going to go this route. Otherwise, we're going to go this route. And again, you can add in different human in the loop types of steps. You can jump in at any point in time once it creates a record and make a phone call or send an email manually if you need. But this should process a lot and many of your actual requests that come into your support email. Next step here, we will do go to Gmail, reply to all, and same thing. We'll just select first email. I'm going to just paste in the message here. Like we did last time, I will have to bring in these fields manually. We'll do hi first name, and we'll pass in each of these extracted details as well. Basically, once the email is received, if we have got everything that we need, at least at a high level, we can just fire off an email saying, hi, John, thank you for your email. We will call you soon or be in touch soon. Here's the details we have just to verify this with you. And then what you can do is go into Smart Suite again. We're going to create another record or create a record, and you have to select your table here. We'll select tasks on the table and we can save that. And then we can start populating the different fields. So status, we'll just do this one as pending, and then ticket description summary. Again, we'll want to use the AI one here, summarize, and we'll just summarize the body of the email, summarize the problem issue. And like last time, we'll just turn on that fallback and also pass in the email received. So that's from the email and body. And we can do the email link, the contact name, go up to sender and select name. And we can add the address that was extracted from the model response. We pass in the address, and we can pass in the email address as well from the sender email. As we did on the other route, we can go into Slack, or again, send yourself an email if needed, and just share the record URL with yourself so that you can easily click into it and view the details that were entered within the Smart Suite database. So that's the entire automation. Now we can do some testing here to see how it all works. I'm going to go in and send myself an email to my support at email address. And the subject's going to be furnace quit working. And you can just whatever you want here. Hi, my furnace quit working. My number is, and provide your phone number. And then we can send this. And then once you receive the email in your inbox, we can go to this trigger output and we can see here it has found that email, furnace quit working. Now I can go into this start a test run. And we know that all I sent was problem, the furnace quit working, and here's my phone number. If this works correctly, it will identify that the address was not provided, so it should go the need more info route. So we can go in here, create a test run, start the run, and we can see here that it's calling out to the model and extracting the details as required. It identified the path need more info, which is correct. It's now replied to that email. It's added a record within the Smart Suite task management. So we can see here that it did that correctly. It says need more info. The sender was Zach Stevenson. It did not find an address. As I mentioned, I have not quite figured out how to get the phone number working yet. But if I open up this record, we can see here that the email was passed in, and I can get the phone number here, date it manually. Here's the link to the email. And that is basically it within the Smart Suite side. So now we're at the stage where it's waiting for a reply. We can see here that this was the automated reply. Hi, Zach. Thank you for your email. We require the following info. Once this has been received, we'll be in touch. And the AI has extracted the phone number. It's extracted the problem, and the client or customer can easily see that they just need to provide the address to us. So I'll go into here and click reply. My address is 123 Main Street, Toronto, and we'll just hit send. And once the email lands in your inbox, it does take a little bit because it only fetches on, I think it's probably a 15-minute basis, but we can go in here, click check now, and it will manually check that for us. You can see that it found the information. It's going to call the model again, and it's going to update that record for us. And that last step there, again, whether it's email or Slack, it will send you a notification. And you can see here, details received for new ticket submitted, review, schedule, and assign. If I click on it, it will open up that record for me directly. It's now summarized. The problem, furnace has quit working. So there's some context that's summarized by AI. And it's passed in the address. So you can see here that if I click into it, it'll find using Google address lookup. And I can just select the address and it will show me the map right there in line. And like I mentioned, you have to pass in the number manually. And then here's the email received with any additional context. So then from there, you can go in, flip it to pending or assigned, and go over to your assigned to employees and bring in whatever employee you want to assign to that specific task, schedule it. If you have to call the customer to just confirm the scheduling, anything along those lines you can do from here. So that's the flow that looks at if new information is required or if additional information is required. And I'll just do one more test here. I'll quickly send myself an email with an address, a phone number, and the problem, and we'll see how it navigates that and goes the other route saying received all of them. Here's my email. My air conditioner isn't working. Here's my phone number and here's my address. I'll click send. And then I can go in here, start a test run. My air conditioner is not working. So that's the one I want to use. And I will create a test run. So you can see that it's extracted the info and it's chosen the path, received all info. And now the email response will go out. It'll create a record for us within Smart Suite and it will notify me within my Slack channel or in DM. And then that way I can open up the record directly. Well, as you can see here, I'll go in and this time if I click into it, you can see everything was summarized and submitted in line here. It's passed in the address. Again, I can verify that and click save. Now, if I go over here and click this icon, I can see the map of where the location is. So this was the automated response on this path. Hi, Zach. Thank you for your email. We will call you soon. And then it's just verifying the details here. Then we can give them a call and schedule the appointment. And one more thing I do want to quickly show you. In this case, there's not so much of the human in the loop side of things, but there is that option available. So if I click this plus icon, you can see this human in the loop option. So there's a few paths or selections that we can choose, get approval to continue the run. So that's just simply a yes, no option here. Is it will send a notification to myself or whoever the user is just approving this to continue. If additional data is required, you can add that. If a task needs to be completed before this automation continued, you could choose that. Or if you wanted to manually select the path that you wanted the automation to follow based off of your understanding of the email. So let's say you get an email from a client or a customer that you know and have had for a long time. Instead of requesting the address from them, you probably already have it within your system. But maybe this is a use case where you want to select a path. When the email comes in, it will notify you. You can take a quick look at the email in line in like your Slack channel, something along those lines, and just be like, yeah, this is good enough. This is a customer I know. And we're just going to choose the path that we've received the ticket. We'll be in touch soon to schedule. Or you can choose, let's go the other way. We need more information. So that's another option as well. So that's where the human in the loop options come into play. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tutorials in the future.